জগত তারারে তারারে তুম পদ ধ্বনি বিপুল ধরারে তুম পদ ধ্বনি বিপুল ধরারে ভবন্ধাকারে চন্দ্রমা বদন ভবন্ধকারে চন্দ্রমা বদন দিশে খালি ছাই ছাই দিশে খালি ছাই ছাই আস হে শান্ত কান্ত মধুর কণায় করুণা নেই আস হে শান্ত কান্ত মধুর পায় নাহি আখি অছ কেতে দূরে পায় নাহি আখি অছ কেতে দূরে তুম লাগি মুজে নীতি ঝুরি মরে তুম লাগি মুজে নীতি ঝুরি মরে এদিন কুটিরে থাপি দিও বারে এদিন কুটিরে থাপি দিও বারে কমল চরণ দুই কমল চরণ দুই আস হে শান্ত শান্ত মধুর কণায় করুণা নেই আস হে কান্ত শান্ত মধুর আকুল নয়ন রহিছি অনাই আকুল নয়ন রহিছি অনাই তুমর রচনা পাই তুমর রচনা পাই আস হে শান্ত কান্ত মধুর কণায় করুণা নেই আস হে শান্ত কান্ত মধুর। জয় গুরু। ପୂଜା ମା ଅଛନ୍ତି? জয় গুরু। নিরাশার অন্ধকার ঘেরিছি পরাণ মোর কাহি অছ পরাণর প্রিয় মোহর নিরাশার অন্ধকার ঘেরিছি পরাণ মোর কাহি অছ পরাণর প্রিয় মোহর ঘুঞ্চাও বিরহ ব্যথা বেদনারে ঘুরে মথা ডুবে অন্ধারে পথ নুহে গোচর কাহি হীন পথে ঘুরে মরু মরিচিকা সার হেম জীবন জলে হিয়া দাবানলে অশান্তি সিন্ধুর জলে একাকী বিলাপ করে ভুলিবি জনে দর্শন দিয় দাসরে সরস কর হৃদয় মধু ভাসরে কুবৃত্তি বিনাশ করি অশান্তি দুঃখ নিবারি আস হে ভাব বিহারি জীবন পথে আশ্রয় দিয় চরণে জীবনর শেষ দিনে অশ্রু অর্ঘ্য নিবেদিবি চিতে বৎসহৃদ কমলাসনে হর মোহর মধুবচনে অজ্ঞান অন্ধার নাসি জ্ঞান আলোক প্রকাশি আশীর্বাদ দেই কর সন্তাপ দূর সেবার সুযোগ দিয় সেবার সুযোগ দিয় তব লীলারে অনিত্য জগতে রচ নিত্য মন্দির ভব বন্ধন মোচন পূজ্যবর গুণহীন সগুণাধিপতি ভবধীরুজনে সত সম্বরদন প্রণমামি গুরু শিব কল্পতরু প্রণমামি গুরু শিব কল্পতরু।
নন্দন ভন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন পরাঘে
নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন অন্ধনয়নে রঞ্জন কর জ্ঞানর
সুরধুনি ধারা ধুও মোর মায়া ঘোরা
তুমি সুরধুনি ধারা ধুও মোর মায়া ঘোরা
কণ্ঠরু তব মা ভয়
কণ্ঠরু তব মা ভয়
শুনাই ব্যথিত জানা
শুনাই ব্যথিত জানা
নিখিল নয়ন আবাহন করি
নিখিল নয়ন বাহন করে
তব শুভ আগমন
তব শুভ আগমন নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন
স্বপ্নর তুমি সত্য সৃষ্টির তুমি তত্ত্ব
স্বপ্নর তুমি সত্য সৃষ্টির তুমি তত্ত্ব
মুক্তি পিয়াসি হতাশ জীবনে
মুক্তি পিয়াসি হতাশ জীবনে
দীপ শিখা তেজিয়ানা
দীপ শিখা তেজিয়ানা
বিশ্ব জনতা ভয় লয়
বিশ্ব জনতা ভয় লয়
করি জয় গুরু গান
করি জয় গুরু গান
নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন
নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন
তুম সঙ্গীত সুর মঙ্গলময় চিরা
তুম সঙ্গীত সুর মঙ্গলময় চিরা
মোছনা তার চরা চরা ছুই
মোছনা তার চরা চরা ছুই
কল্যাণ পরিদান
কল্যাণ করিদান
তাপিত পীড়িত তড়িত জীবনী
তাপিত পীড়িত দলিত জীবনে
শান্তির
শান্তির আলিপন নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন নন্দন বন পারিজাত তুমি বন্দন মোর ঘেন
যুগধর राखी नित्य तुम्हें साखी
जुगधर मारो राखी नित्य तुम्हें साखी
हमारा बाणी रे हमें आराधर
हमारा बाणी रे आमी आराधर
बरस जग जीवन
बरस जग जीवन
निठुराना हुआ शरणागतरि
निठुराना हुआ शरणागतरि
शरणे दिया शरण
शरणे दिया शरण नंदन पारिजात तुम्हें वंदन मोर घेना नंदन वन पारिजात तुम्हें वंदन मोर घेना नयने रंजन कर
जानर अंजन
जानर अंजन नंदन वन पारिजात तुम्हें वंदन मोर घेना नंदन वन पारिजात तुम्हें वंदन मोर घेना
मोर घेना।
Jayaguru Sri Nigamananda Upadisha, page 220, easy and simple sadhana. These people have rightly surrendered themselves. At times, they have also dumbfounded me. It's true that they have good education and wisdom, but they were not great for it. They were great because they had enriched human qualities in man. And relinquishing everything, they once stood before me emptied of all attachments. But when they left this place, they left with a bliss of soul and deep gratitude for me. Today, they are not in this world, but I have no hesitation to say I am indebted to them. Such confession doesn't belittle my position as a guru. I do not say that the paths mentioned in the scriptures and my teachings are untrue, but man can attain on more easier and simpler ways than those of scriptures. I myself have also gathered experience on performing sadhana bhajana. I have noticed how man can develop in adopting very small practices on an easy and simple path, and thereby everything also goes very well. For that reason, I do not emphasize more on any hard and difficult tapasya except doing the daily work in a simple and easy way, keeping honesty intact. We unnecessarily misuse our physical and mental power due to our ignorance. Those who believe and later betray at every step not only do a great harm to me, but also endanger their future life. First thing is that there is no relevance and significance in taking shelter with antagonistic feelings. It will be rather beneficial for them if they seek any other suitable way to fulfill their desire easily. I did not keep anyone under the spell of the magic of mantra. Dharma is neither magic nor mesmerism. Some of you went elsewhere out of anger because I did not display any supernatural power. Some of you, however, returned later. I do not, of course, blame you for it. The mistake lies with the interpreters of religion. Jai Guru.
जयगुरु। नीलाचल सरस्वती संघ पुरी शाखा अमेरिका सारस्वत संघ 872तम अधिवेशन विवरणी तारीख जुलाई 23 रविवार समय 7:15 रु 11:45 पालिया अर्णव देव भाई और लीनामा उपस्थित भाई और माँ माने उपस्थित उपस्थित भक्त मान नाम आमसा वेबसाइट लिंक रे पाइबे। अधिवास पूजा जुलाई 22 दिन अधिवास सभा निगम स्मृति मंदिर रे अनुष्ठित होइतिला। प्रथम अधिवेशन विवरणी सकाळ 7:15 रु 8:45 ईस्टर्न टाइम सकाळ प्राय 7:15 समय ज्ञान भाई और अंजलि बा यथाक्रमे मिलन मंदिर मोर ओ तुमे ना से दिन कहिथिल मते डाकिले आसियो बोली प्रतीक्षा संगीत गान करिथिले एवं यही समय अन्य सब भाई और माँ माने टेलीकॉन्फ्रेंस माध्यम जोग देइथिले। सकाळ 7:35 समय सानुजित भाई निगम स्मृति मंदिर रे श्री ठाकुर पूजा अर्चना और आरती करथिले। आरती समापनांते वृंदावन भाई नेतृत्व में समवेत स्वर रे बंदे गुरुचरण और स्त्रोत वंदना गान करा जायतिला। तत्पर नीलाचल सारस्वत संघर परिचालक शरद भाई सभापति आसन ग्रहण करी सभा परिचालना करथिले। तत्पर शरद भाई परिचय पत्र पाठ कराया परे समूह भाव में समय प्रार्थना पाठ कराइथिले। या परे शरद भाई श्री श्री गुरु गीता श्लोक 40 पाठ करथिले। तापर परिचालक संघ सेवकर 51 भाग चतुर्थ संख्यारु वंदना प्रार्थना और प्रार्थनाकारी प्रति पाठ करथिले। एथिरु शिक्षक मिलथिला साधना और आत्मकृपा जेउठु सरीब भगवत कृपा सेउठु आरंभ हेबो। अभिमान गले दीनता आसे निर्भरता ही मूल किछि न करी केवल निर्भर करी बसिले किछि हेबो नाही। माया तळकु टाणी निए गुरु शक्ति हमकु ऊर्ध्वकु नहीं गुरुदेव पाखरे पहुंचाई दिए। या परे पालिया देव भाई श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज को बाल्य भोग पाई और समस्त भक्त वृंद को बाल्य प्रसाद पाई निमंत्रण करथिले एवं ईस्टर्न टाइम सकाळ 10टा समय को द्वितीय अधिवेशन निमित्त श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज और समस्त भक्त वृंद को निमंत्रण करथिले। या परे जयगुरु नाम कीर्तनांते श्री श्री ठाकुर को प्रणाम और आसन बंद करा जायतिला। तापरे श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज को निगम स्मृति मंदिर रे भक्त माने निज निज गृह स्थान रे बाल्य भोग निवेदन करी प्रसाद सेवन करथिले। द्वितीय अधिवेशन विवरणी सकाळ 9:45 रु 11:45 ईस्टर्न टाइम। लिखित कार्यसूची अनुसार ईस्टर्न टाइम सकाळ प्राय 9:45 समय शुभेन्दु भाई और देवाशीष भाई यथाक्रमे आज लागिला दिगंते की कुहुक लागिला तुम रूप लगी आखि झुरे कहीं लुचि अच्छा कुह आह्वान संगीत गान करथिले एवं एही समय अन्यान्य भक्तवृंद टेलीकॉन्फ्रेंस माध्यम रे पूजारे जोग दैथिले। दिन प्राय 10टा समय भवबंधन मोचन गान करा जाय श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज को प्रणामांते संघासन परदा उन्मोचन करा जाय द्वितीय अधिवेशन कार्यक्रम आरंभ करा जायतिला। सर्वप्रथमे अर्पिता मां वंदे श्री गुरुदेव अभय पद राजीव वंदना गान करथिले। तदनंतर शरद भाई निगम उपदेश पुस्तक समर्पणकारी प्रति पाठ करी आलोचना करथिले। भाई बुझाइथिले जे गुरुंक आज्ञा निर्विचार रे पालन करिवो। मनुष्यत्व अर्जन करियकु हेले विश्वास भक्ति और श्रद्धा रहिबा आवश्यक। भगवान पई आकुलता व्याकुलता हला भक्ति। निहार भाई पूर्व अधिवेशन विवरणी पाठ करथिले। या परे परिचालक संसार पथ पुस्तक गृहस्थ मानकर कर्तव्य पालन पाठ करी बुझाइथिले जे अन्य मानकर दुखरे दुखी और अन्य मानकर सुखरे सुखी हेबा उचित। सत्य प्रतिष्ठित हेले सत्य स्वरूप भगवान तुमर निश्चय रक्षा करिवे। आनंद निरानंद रे विचलित न होई जप ध्यान और प्रार्थना कर। या परे सुकन्या मां प्रार्थना संगीत तुम पूजा फल होई भी ठाकुर श्री पदे नीति लागुथिबी गान करथिले। तत्पर प्रश्नोत्तर कार्यक्रम करा जायतिला। या परे प्रत्युषा मां प्रार्थना संगीत शपथ सागर सरजित जी दुई टोपा लुहे भाषा रे गान करथिले। भक्ति मां यंग एस्पिरेंट सेशन डिस्कशन लीड करथिले। या परे यथाक्रमे अर्णव देव भाई और लीनामा भाव विनिमय करथिले। या परे लीनामा मध्याह्न भोग और परवर्ती संध्या पूजा पाई श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज सहित समस्त भक्त भाई और माँ मान को निमंत्रण करथिले। बबी और सानुजित भाई आसंता पूजा अधिवेशन जुलाई 29 तारीख सकाळ अनुष्ठित पाई श्री श्री ठाकुर महाराज सहित अनुष्ठित हेबा पाई श्री ठाकुर महाराज सहित भक्त भाई और माँ यंग एस्पिरेंट मानक निमंत्रण करथिले। लीनामा पाली सेवार होइतिया समस्त दोष त्रुटि पई सेवारे थिबा अन्य भाई माँ और यंग एस्पिरेंट मानक तरफरु श्री ठाकुर महाराज एवं उपस्थित भक्त मानक निकट रे क्षमा प्रार्थना करथिले। परिशेष रे निहार भाई दयामय श्रीचरण विदाय प्रार्थना गान कला परे जय गुरु नाम कीर्तन करा जाई प्रथमे आसन बंद करा जायतिला। विशेष भाई संघ मानकर उपस्थान नहीं तत्पर भाई और माँ और यंग एस्पिरेंट माने जय गुरु प्रेम संभावना करी विदाय नेले। यापर श्री ठाकुर महाराज को निगम स्मृति मंदिर रे और भक्त माने निज निज गृहासन भोग निवेदन करी प्रसाद सेवन करथिले। श्री श्री ठाकुर चरणा सहित अर्णव देव भाई और लेनामा। जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। बर्तमान पढ़ा श्री श्री ठाकुर महात्म्य पेज 121 आरंभ करें। गोटे सेकेंड। सॉरी भाई गोटे मिनिट से पेज टा आसुनी। ओके। पुरी रे घर करी नित्य बसवासर व्यवस्था हेले ठाकुर सहित सहजरे देखा साक्षात हो पार ना बोली आम अस्वस्थि बोध करने को लगिलु। ए विषय श्री श्री ठाकुर को जणाइबारु से कहले तुमे माने कौन चिंता कर ना मु जोठी थाए ना कहीं मोर अभाव कहीं अनुभव करिवो नाही। मोर केतेरण शिष्य जोठी एकत्रित हेबे सेठारे मोर विकास देखा पाइबे। जनेक गुरु भाई जमी माप नहीं भागीदार सहित सर्वदा झगड़ा विवाद कर उत्त्यक्त हुए और अशांति भोग करे। तार विश्वास से अन्याय निर्यातित होउछि यह भावी से आउ धैर्य धरी न पारी दिने भीषण उत्तेजित हो उठिला एवं पागल परी मो निकट में उपस्थित होई कहला मु खून करने को चलिली तुमे माने मो आशा छाड़ी दियो। मु जोर करी ताकू पाखरे बसाइले। प्राय 1 घंटा धरी ठाकुरंकर श्रीमुखर शुणिथिबा उपदेश और उद्देश्य आदि आलोचना करने फल अस्वाभाविक भाव में तार परिवर्तन हो गला। एही समय उभय केते थर उच्च स्वर रे हसिलु और कांदिलु। तापर से उठी जा समय कहला मु वर्तमान जाई ताकू उक्त अंशीदार को गला धरी आलिंगन करी अथवा तार पाद धरी तार इच्छा अनुसार विवाद मीमांसा करि। आउ दिने जड़े पदस्थ और गण्यमान्य गुरु भाई वैषयिक संपर्क में कौन जड़े लोकर अन्याय आचरण अधीर होई तार कान काटी आनिबा पई जड़े प्रजा को हुकुम देथिले। ठीक सही समय रे चांदा आदाय पई मयनामती आश्रम भुवन ब्रह्मचारी आसी उपस्थित 2 घंटा धरी सहित ए विषय आलोचना और वादानुवाद करने पर से केवल कान काटिबार हुकुम प्रत्याहार कले नहीं परंतु आश्रम भिक्षा आदाय पई झूला कांधरे पकाई सीधा जाई से लोकटीर घरे हाजर हेले एवं ताकू आलिंगन करी भिक्षा आनिले। अपेक्षाकृत प्रवीण पदस्थ और वयोज्येष्ठ व्यक्तिर क्रोधान्मत अवस्था भुवन परि जणे बालक जाई सम्मुखें दंडायमान हेबा संपूर्ण असंभव। किंतु आमे स्वचक्षुरे देखितु एठारे से जेपरि ठाकुरंकर आसन ग्रहण करते मु जड़े लोक सहित विवाद करी बहु दिन धरी ता संगे कथबार्ता करुनथली। एही समय से दिने मते ता घरे झूला धरी उपस्थित हेबा देखी अबाक होई आसी मो पादरे पड़ीगला एवं पूर्वकृत अपराध पई क्षमा प्रार्थना करी गोटे टंका देला। भुवन भाई सहित रही ठाकुरंक आलोचना रे हृदय को सिक्त करी अभिमान चूर्ण करी न पारिथिले हुए तो मु केबे हेले एका से घर को जाई नथांती एवं क्रमशः विवाद घनीभूत हेबारे लागिथांता। श्री श्री ठाकुरंकर शिष्य मानक मध्य जोतारे पिटापिटी होई मध्य जड़े अन्यर विच्छेद सही न पारी परस्पर आलिंगन और पाद धरिबा इत्यादि स्वचक्षुरे दर्शन करुछि। जेउ ठाकुरंकु आमे आमर किछि हेउ नाही कही केते थर विरक्त करिछु केते अशांति देइछु एवं जे आमर एई सब अभियोग दुखित होई कहिसंती तुमर किछि हेउ नाही कहिले मते लाज लागे रे मुंह देखाया को इच्छा हुए ना। दिने सेई ठाकुरंक सम्मुखरे हबिगंज जनसभा मध्य कृतज्ञता जनाई आवेगरे कहिथिली ठाकुर मोर ए देहरे कौनसी अपवित्रता अछि बोली मने हुए ना। एही सुनी ठाकुर सामान्य मृदु मधुर हसिले। से हसर अर्थ मु बुझी पारिली जेपरि कहिले अपवित्रता संपूर्ण रूपे जाई नहीं मु पाखरे रहिले अभाव बोध रहे नहीं एई मात्र। हाय आमे सबु समय रे पाखरे रखी पारुना दूर को तड़ी दो तथापि से कहिथिले तुमे माने छाड़िले मध्य मु छाड़िबि नाही। तांकर एई प्रतिज्ञा से प्रतिपालन करुछंती बोली दैनंदिन कार्यकलाप और आपद विपद भितर देई उपलब्धि करुछि। शिष्य संख्यार आधिक्य बा शिक्षित और सम्भ्रांत व्यक्ति कर्तृक गुरुवरण उपरे कौनसी साधु बा महापुरुषंकर प्रतिष्ठा निर्भर करे नाही। ठाकुर स्वयं कहिसंती जे जेते शिक्षित हेउ बा गण्यमान्य हेउ आध्यात्मिक जगत रे समस्ते शिशु तुल्य। अनुगत मानक प्रति तांकर कौनसी प्रकार व्यवहार वैषम्य आम मानक द्वारा केबे भी परिलक्षित होई नाही। अवश्य तांक निकटरे छोट बड़ निर्वाचन अछि, किंतु आमे जेउ हिसाब रे छोट बड़ धरू से सही हिसाब रे धरंती नाही। बाह्य आचरण देखि जे मनुष्यर ओजन करंती से गुरु आसन रे बेसी दिन तिष्ठि पारिबे नाही। बस्तरर महाराज शिष्य हेबा परे जड़े भक्त ठाकुर को राजगुरु होइसंती बोली गौरव सूचक कौन गोटे कथा कहबारु ठाकुर विरक्त होई कहिथिले रखिदे तोर राजा सजा। राजा शिष्य होइछि तो कौन होइछि, तबे तुमर संग हेबे पूर्ण हैला एई यथेष्ट। एई श्रेणीर लोक पूर्वरु संगरे केई नथिले। छोट बड़ विचार करी सुख दुख मान अभिमान ए सबु क्षेत्र में ठाकुर सहित आमर मेल खाए ना, अथच आम मान परी समस्ते अच्छा। दिने कथा प्रसंग में ठाकुर कहले जे 12 वर्ष परिवर्ते 6 वर्ष परमहंस होइजारु तांकर टिके अभिमान भाव जात होइतिला। या शुणी मु पचारिली एई स्तर रे भी कौन अभिमान थाए ठाकुर? ठाकुर कहले मु तो काहाकू बाड़ेबा को जाए नहीं, अर्थात ए अभिमान रे कार अनिष्ट हुए नहीं। आउ दिने अन्य उपलक्ष्य कहिथिले तुम परी मोर मध्य रोग शोक आराम बेराम मालो मरीगलिगो इत्यादि सबू अच्छी, तथापि तुमर यही सब भाव सहित मो भावर आकाश पाताल प्रभेद। भुक्त भोगी व्यतीत एक कथा केही बुझीपारे ना। श्री श्री ठाकुरंकर महात्म्य परिमाप करिवार क्षमता मोर नहीं, तथापि मोर ज्ञान विश्वास अनुसार से कणाए प्रकाश करिपारि नाही बोली पड़ला। भाई गोटे मिनिट भाई पुणी थे से टेस्ट पड़ला। श्री श्री ठाकुरंकर महात्म्य परिमाप करिवार क्षमता मोर नहीं, तथापि मोर ज्ञान विश्वास अनुसार से कणाए प्रकाश करिपारि नाही बोली मन हुए। जाहेउ तांकर चरित्र वर्णना बा जीवनी लेखिवार योग्यता मोर नाही, मु मध्य से भार ग्रहण करि नाही। आमे काहारिकु तांकर महात्म्य प्रचार करिवाकु भी महात्म्य प्रचार करिवाकु भी पड़िबो नाही। देखि पड़ी तांकु बड़ करी प्रचार करिवारे से घोर विद्वेषी। बिना मुद्रण व्यय बिना डाक खर्च यही विलासिता और अर्थलिप्सता भीतर देई तांकर महात्म्य तांक द्वारा ही प्रचारित हेउछि ओ हेबो। मु केवल मो जीवन अनुशीलन करी तांकर जेउ महत्वर परिचय पाई धन्य होइछि, कृतज्ञता प्रकाशार्थे निजर योग्यता अनुसार से किछि व्यक्त करने को प्रयास करिछि मात्र। ठाकुर महात्म्य लिखिछि, किंतु यह केउ ठाकुरंकर महात्म्य प्रसंगत ताहा परिव्यक्त होई नाही। वर्तमान परिवर्तन जुग, सुतरां टिकिनिकी सबुथिरे परिवर्तन संगठित हेउछि। ठाकुर शब्दटी श्रेष्ठतम पदवी बोली साधारणतः गुरु देवता ब्राह्मण पिता और मुनिवं को प्रदान करा जाउथिला, किंतु संप्रति यह गृहिणीर आरामकामी बाबू मान द्वारा विशेष भाव में पाचक को प्रदत्त हेबारु बंगाली ब्राह्मण माने एतादृश सम्मानजनक उपाधि को घृणारे परित्याग करछन्ति। शर्मन शब्दटी ब्राह्मणर सार्वभौमिक सुपदवी हेले मध्य शर्मा देवस्य विप्रस्य वर्मातु क्षत्रियस्य च गुप्त दासात्मकं नाम प्रशस्तं वैश्य शूद्रयो एपरि अंत्यज ब्राह्मणर उच्छिष्ट बोली परित्यक्त हेउछि एवं ता परिवर्तन भट्टाचार्य चक्रवर्ती इत्यादि पांडित्य सूचक और सांप्रदायिक उपाधि गुड़िक मात्र व्यवहृत हेउछि। विद्याहीन हेले मध्य भट्टाचार्य लेखिबाकु हुए। अमुक ठाकुर बा शर्मा कहिले वर्तमान हीन ब्राह्मण बोली प्रतिपन्न हेबाकु हुए। पैतृक धनर ममता परित्याग करी କରି ନ ପାରି ମୁଁ ଅନେକ ସ୍ଥଳରେ ବିପନ୍ନ ହେଉଅଛି ଏବଂ ସବୁ ଜାତିର ବ୍ରାହ୍ମଣ ମାନେ ନାମ ଶେଷରେ ଭଟ୍ଟାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବା ଚକ୍ରବର୍ତ୍ତୀ ଲେଖିବାକୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କଲେଣି ଦେଖି ପରିବର୍ତ୍ତନ ପକ୍ଷପାତୀ ମାନଙ୍କର ବିପଦ ଆଶଙ୍କା କରୁଅଛି। ଯାହା ହେଉ ମୋର ବ୍ୟବହୃତ ଠାକୁର ଶବ୍ଦର ପ୍ରତିପାଦ୍ୟ ଦେବତା ମୋର ଗୁରୁ ଶ୍ରୀମତ୍ ସ୍ୱାମୀ ନିଗମାନନ୍ଦ ସରସ୍ୱତୀ ପରମହଂସ ପରିବ୍ରାଜକାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
जय गुरु भाई। ଏଠି ଆମେ ଠାକୁର ମହାତ୍ମ୍ୟ ଯାହା ବିହାରୀ ମୋହନ ଶର୍ମା ଭାଇ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ଇଂଲିଶ ରେ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଲେଟ କରିବାକୁ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରୁଛୁ। ଆରମ୍ଭ କରିବା। So when few of the devotees told Thakura that if they establish their household in Puri and build their house in Puri, they wouldn't be able to meet Thakura very often. To this Thakura replied that no matter where they reside, they wouldn't feel Thakura's absence. If few devotees gathered together at one place, they would be able to find Thakura. In one such instance, when one of Thakura's devotee was in a continuous state of fight over a land dispute, he was so frustrated that one day even he said that he was going to murder his rival who was tormenting him with the land dispute. Bihari Bhai forced him to sit near him and they started to discuss some of Thakura's advice for hours and hours. And after about 1 hour, there was a drastic change observed in the nature of that guy. He got up and said that he would go now and embrace his rival and would hold his leg and try to compromise about the land. That is the power of Thakura's advice. Another instance, when a well-known person who was a disciple of Thakura had become frustrated by seeing injustice behavior of someone, he had ordered his subordinate to cut the ear of that person. It's a type of way of saying that he would punish that person. At that time, Bhuvana Brahmachari had come from the Mayanamati ashram to ask for donation. So basically, that the person discussed with Bhuvana Brahmachari Bhai for hours, and again after 2 hours, the devotee after discussing with Bhuvana Brahmachari Bhai for 2 hours. By the end of it, he not only decided against the punishment, but also decided to go to his rival's house, to that person's house, and embrace him and ask for donation. Here, even Bihari Bhai mentioned that from his life in one such instance where he was not in talking terms with someone, and after discussing with Bhuvana Bhai, even his heart changed and he went to his enemy's house, embraced him, got donation, and was able to settle all dispute between them. If it was not for Bhuvana Bhai, then he would have never done this, and the rift for the issue would have widened. Maybe Bihari Bhai was trying to say that even the disciples of Thakura had so much greatness. It is mentioned here that sometimes even if the disciples of Thakura throw shoes at each other, the next moment they cannot even tolerate being separated from each other and would embrace each other or fall at each other's feet. It is told here that the devotees of Thakura, they have told Thakura so many times that nothing good is happening to them. He has many times told not to come with these type of trifle complaints that makes him feel ashamed. One day at Hobbygunja gathering, someone said Thakura that he doesn't think he has any impurity left in his body. Thakura just smiled, and Bihari Bhai understood that Thakura is saying impurity has not disappeared completely, but when Thakura is near, it feels that impurity is no more there. Thakura says even if the disciples leave Thakura, Thakura would never leave his disciples or devotees. Thakura says that no matter how educated or well-known someone is, in the world of religion, everyone is like a kid. When we think about upper caste and lower caste, we think about upper and lower as upper caste and lower caste. Thakura also thinks about upper and lower, but not in the same terms how we think. Those who think in the way of casteism, they can never remain guru for long. When the king of Bastara became disciple of Thakura, someone said that Thakura has now become Rajaguru. Thakura was annoyed when he heard that and said that from king to kingsman, everyone was same in front of him. It might have done some changes to their Sangha, but nothing has changed for him. One day Thakura said that when he became Paramahansa within 6 years, which normally takes 12 years, he felt proud of the achievement. When Bihari Bhai asked that does these type of feeling come to Thakura, Thakur said, yes, it does come, but it doesn't harm anyone. He even said that he has all the feeling like anger, sadness, disease, laziness, etc. But the level of feeling are very different than the ones we have. Towards the end, Bihari Mohan Bhai mentioned that he has no capacity to measure Thakur's greatness or even to write his biography. Even he has not taken the responsibility to do so. No one even need to spread the greatness of Thakur. Bihari Bhai has just tried to write his own autobiography, and in that he has tried his best to tell as much as he could about Thakur's Mahatmya or his greatness. Towards the end, Bihari Mohan Bhai is just trying to say that the title Thakur has been diluted over the times by the Brahmins who have taken the title of Bhattacharya or other, and the title Thakur has been diluted. But again, by the end, he just mentioned that the Thakur he has been referring in his book throughout, it's basically our Sri Sri Nigamananda. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Guhari mo suna Thakura Guhari mo suna Thakura Guhari mo suna Thakura jana uthi jodi mukara jana uthi jodi mukara Guhari mo suna Thakura Guhari mo suna Thakura tume karaja mora muchira pina kinkara tume ka raja mora muchira pina kinkara tuma guna gaibaku tuma guna gaibaku kanthare modiya sura tuma guna gaibaku kanthare modiya sura Guhari mo suna Thakura Guhari mo suna Thakura Chitara chinta sauti pranara jete bhakati Chitara chinta sauti pranara jete bhakati jivana sutare gunthi jivana sutare gunthi beti devi kari muhara jivana sutare gunthi beti devi kari muhara Guhari mo गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर दुआरे तुम्हारी रही बिसिरी मुख चाही दुआरे तुम्हारी रही बिसिरी मुख चाही आहे करुणा निधान आहे करुणा निधान बांछा मोर कर पूरण आहे करुणा निधान बांछा मोर कर पूरण गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर जनाउछि जोड़ी मुकर गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर नौकरी हेउ मोर तुम पद से दीवार नौकरी हेउ मोर तुम पद से दीवार एतिकी केवल भिक्षा एतिकी केवल भिक्षा निरत ए गुरु दासर एतिकी केवल भिक्षा निरत ए गुरु दासर गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर जनाउछि जोड़ी मुकर जनाउछि जोड़ी मुकर गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर गुहारी मो शुण ठाकुर जय
Jai Guru. Saraswata, Part 1, Chapter 32, The Problems of the Era for the Householders. Nowadays, the householders deal with a very difficult era. It is an era of contradictions. Contradictions are perceived among nations, communities, families, religions, and literary works. The wife disagrees with the husband's point of view, and the child does not obey the parents. In this situation, the leaders of the nation are trying to reform the society. How can a society be reformed if it does not exist? The definition of society is that a group of people adhere to a set of rules. These days, even members of a family don't agree with each other. If the father is devoted towards God and Brahmins, the son is a non-believer. Rather, the reformers of the societies have created disruption by removing the division of caste or discipline. The people are adopting the direction which they find beneficial to them. The path of improvement of the society has not been determined yet. People in our nation run after new ideologies, often by getting involved in conflicts. Everyone is involved in the usual humdrum although there is no happiness or peace in it. This is causing suffering to them. In this situation, my advice is to stay neutral, away from contradiction. Do not object or protest to anyone or anything. In any conflicting situation, stay out old-fashioned and keep yourself neutral. Do not support anyone or oppose anybody. Always remain uninvolved. It is untrue that you will not face societal torment if you are neutral. However, the anguish faced by neutral people is no more than the people who support or oppose. There is no need to oppose. Follow the majority after keeping the foundation of religion, rules, and rituals intact. It is better to tolerate some affliction from society for following the richest path. Everyone has tolerated societal torment while following the richest path in every era. You have to tolerate this opposition for sure. My main goal is to establish an ideal household life. The current society is against the path I want to establish. In the past years, every household lived in peace and happiness. The country was at its peak in every aspect since there was ideal household life. The country has descended to its worst since the age-old ideal householder life does not exist anymore. It's my wish and blessing that you become an ideal householder by following the age-old ideals promulgated by rishis. In ancient times, life in Hindu society was divided into 4 phases. First, brahmacharya, celibacy. Second, grihastha, householder. Third, vanaprastha, ascetic. And fourth, sannyasa, monkhood. However, in the absence of the celibacy phase, the rest of the phases have become defunct. The current Hindu society has become lifeless, similar to the branches, fruits and flowers of a tree that has its roots destroyed. Jai Guru.
जय गुरु आरंभ करवा आमर सकाले संगत पढ़ाई प्रार्थनाकारी प्रति डिस्कसन कर क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन को जीवा once again हम बारंबार माने पढ़ुछु ठाकुर कहते जे प्रार्थना कला मन मुख हवा दरकार कौन आम चाहूचु से बुझिक प्रार्थना करने दरकार जदि आम अभावटा न बुझुचु खाली मुहर प्रार्थना कले से प्रार्थना ठीक भाव हम ना कहते प्रार्थना कले कला बेले इष्टदेव सहित भक्तर मन अति निबिड़ भाव में जोगयुक्त हो जाए तेणु इष्ट शुणे से कथा अमृत पूर्ण करेंगे जी आम मनटा से ना मनटा मैंने मुहर आम कही चलचु कि मनटा अन्य कड़े अच्छी प्रार्थना किसी मूल्य ना कहते अनेक समय मुख्य किसी प्रकाश न कर नीरव प्रार्थना कर मूल कथा से एकाग्रता रहा दरकार नीरव प्रार्थना हो मुहर खोलिक प्रार्थना हो से एकाग्रता दरकार जे यहीटा ही मोर दरकार यहीटा ही ठाकुर दे पारे जहाँ पक्ष प्रार्थना कर देवार से क्षमता अच्छी यहीटा जिन निहाती दरकार प्रार्थनाकारी मन जिते एकाग्र हम प्रार्थना शक्ति से वृद्धि पाइब श्री ठाकुर कहते प्रार्थना समय कांदी भसाई दब कांद न मारे निज देह को प्रहार कर कांदा चेष्टा कर ठाकुर कहते प्रकृत में आम मानने कांद के आसो जो रियली जाना रियली नीड दिस आम होनी पाऊना से कांद आसो आउ खाली माने जन कह तू गोटे बाघ मागे ठाकुर को से कांद आसोनी आई डोंट नीड ए टाइगर तो प्रार्थना कर कांद कहीं आसो से चिंता करिए प्रकृत में आम अवस्था कौन आम कौ अवस्था पड़ीचु आम कौन चाहूँ से उद्धार पाई कौन दरकार आ ठाकुर से कहीदे पारे जब आम प्रार्थना प्रार्थना करवा से अवस्था आसिले जाए कांद आसो आमर निजर अवस्था बुझा पड़ो आम कौ अवस्था अच्छु आम कौ अवस्था जावाक चाहूँ आम दैन्य बुझा पड़ो से जाइए डिस्कसन रे जीवात्मा आत्मा भितर डिफरेन्स एक्सप्लेन कर चाहूँगी से डाउट मुझे क्लीयर कर चाहूँगी कहीं ये जो आत्मा परमात्मा जीवात्मा आपको लेकिन बेले बेले कन्फ्यूजन हुए ଇଭିନ୍ ସଂଘ ସେବକ ଥରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଏଇଟା ବାହାରିଥିଲା, that was not very clear କଣ ଟିକେ ଗଣ୍ଡଗୋଳିଆ କରିଥିଲେ ସେ ଗଣ୍ଡଗୋଳିଆ କରିଥିଲେ। ଏଇଥିପାଇଁ କହୁଛି ଯେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କର ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲାନେସନ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ସେ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲାନେସନ ଟା ମାନେ ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ କରୁନଥିଲା। ତ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲାନେସନ ମୁଁ ଦେବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଏଠି। ଠାକୁର କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି କୋଉ ଜାଗାରେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ମନେ ପଡୁନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ଆତ୍ମା ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ, ଆତ୍ମାକୁ ଦି ଭାଗ କରିନବ, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ପରମାତ୍ମା, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ଜୀବାତ୍ମା। ତେଣୁ ପରମାତ୍ମା କହିଲେ ସେ ଆତ୍ମା, ଜୀବାତ୍ମା କହିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ ଆତ୍ମା ହେଲା। ମାନେ ପରମାତ୍ମା ହେଲା ସର୍ବଶକ୍ତିମାନ, ଅନନ୍ତ ଶକ୍ତି ବିଶିଷ୍ଟ। ଜୀବାତ୍ମା ହେଲା ସେ ଜୀବର ଆବରଣରେ ପଡିଯାଇଛି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେ ଶାନ୍ତ ଦନ୍ତେଶ ସଯୁକ୍ତ ଅନ୍ତ, ଯାହାର ଅନ୍ତ ଅଛି, ଅନନ୍ତ ନୁହେଁ, ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଜୀବାତ୍ମା। ଜୀବାତ୍ମାର କାପାସିଟି ବହୁତ କମ୍, ପରମାତ୍ମାଙ୍କର କାପାସିଟି ଅନେକ ବେଶୀ, ଅନେକ ଗୁଣରେ ବେଶୀ। ଆଉ ଦ ହୋଲ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇଜ ଆତ୍ମା। ଜଷ୍ଟ ଟୁ କ୍ଲାରିଫାଏ ଯେ ଆତ୍ମାକୁ ଦି ଭାଗ କରିହବ, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ପରମାତ୍ମା ପାର୍ଟ, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ଜୀବାତ୍ମା ପାର୍ଟ। ତାକୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟିଆ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦେବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ଧରନ୍ତୁ ପବନ ସବୁଠି ଅଛି, ରାଇଟ୍? ଗୋଟେ ବାକ୍ସ ଆମେ ଆଣି ରଖିଲେ, ବାକ୍ସ ଭିତରେ ପବନ ଅଛି। ବାକ୍ସ ଭିତର ପବନ ଆଉ ବାହାର ପବନ ଭିତରେ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ରହିଛି। ବାହାର ପବନ ଝଡ଼ ସୃଷ୍ଟି କରିକିରି ମହା ବୃକ୍ଷକୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଉଲ୍ଟେଇ ଦଉଛି, ବାହାର ପବନଟା ଝଡ଼ ଲଘୁ ଚାପ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ହଉଛି। କିନ୍ତୁ ବାକ୍ସ ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ପବନଟା ରହିଲା ତାର ସେ ଶକ୍ତି ନାହିଁ। ବାକ୍ସ ଆମେ ଯେତେ ହଲେଇଲେ, ଯେତେ ଉପର ହଲେ, ତା ଭିତରେ ପବନ ଗୋଟେ ଗଛକୁ ଉପାଡ଼ିବା ଶକ୍ତି ତାର ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ ଜୀବାତ୍ମାର ଅବସ୍ଥା ସେଇଆ, ଯେହେତୁ ସେ ଆବରଣ ଭିତରେ ରହିଯାଇଛି, ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ତାର ଶକ୍ତିଟା କମ୍ ରହୁଛି। ସେ ବୁଝିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ତାପରେ ଦ୍ରଷ୍ଟା ପକ୍ଷୀ, ଜୀବାତ୍ମା, ଆତ୍ମା ହେଲା ଦ୍ରଷ୍ଟା, ଆଉ ଜୀବାତ୍ମା ହେଲା ଭୋଗୀ ପକ୍ଷୀ ବୋଲି କହୁଛନ୍ତି। ଯୋଉ ଠାକୁର ତମକୁ ପଚାରିତେ ଶଙ୍କରାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କହିଥିଲେ, ତା ଉତ୍ତର ଦେଇଥିଲେ ସେଠି ଯେ ପ୍ରକୃତିରେ ହଉଛି ଜଣେ। ତାକୁ କହିଲେ ପକ୍ଷୀ ଦୁଇଟି ନୁହେଁ, ଗୋଟିଏ। ପ୍ରକୃତ ପକ୍ଷୀ ଗୋଟିଏ, ଅନ୍ୟଟି ତାର ଛାୟା ମାତ୍ର। ତାପରେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଗୁରୁ କାୟା, ଶିଷ୍ୟ ଛାୟା ମାତ୍ର, ସେଥିରେ ଛାୟା କାୟାରେ ମିଶିଯିବ। ସେହିପରି ଭୋଗୀ ପକ୍ଷୀ ଭୋଗ ତୃଷ୍ଣା ପରିତ୍ୟାଗ କରି ଅନ୍ତର୍ମୁଖୀ ହେଲେ ଦ୍ରଷ୍ଟା ପକ୍ଷୀରେ ମିଶିଯାଏ ବା ଆତ୍ମାରେ ପରିଣତ ହୋଇଯାଏ। ଏଇଠି ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ବୋଧେ ରହିଲା ଆମର କିଛି ପଢା ହେଇଛି। ଏନିୱେ ଏଇଠି ମୁଁ ରଖୁଛି, ଯଦି କାହାର ପଢା ହେଇଛି। କିଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅଛି ହୁଏତ ସଂଘ ସେବକ ଉପରେ କି ଅନ୍ୟ କୌଣସି ବିଷୟରେ ପଚାରନ୍ତୁ। ଆଇ ଟ୍ରାଏ ମାଇ ବେଷ୍ଟ ଟୁ ଆନ୍ସର। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ, ସେ ଯୋଉ ଆଜି ଇଏରେ ପଢିଲେ ଯୋଉ ଭୋଗ୍ୟ ପକ୍ଷୀ ସେ ଯାଇକିରି ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସଫର୍ମ ହେଇଯିବ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ପକ୍ଷୀକୁ, ଠାକୁରଙ୍କ ଇଏ ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ମିଶୁନି। ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ପକ୍ଷୀ ଗୋଟିଏ, ସେଇଟା ତାର ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ ବୋଲି କହିଛନ୍ତି। ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଅଦ୍ୱୈତ ବେଦାନ୍ତକୁ ଯିବେ, ଅଦ୍ୱୈତ ବେଦାନ୍ତ 100% agrees with that, or ଅଦ୍ୱୈତ ବେଦାନ୍ତ is that, ଯେ ଜଣେ ପକ୍ଷୀ ଇଏ ଖାଲି ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ ହଉଛି, ସେ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ ସେ ଚାଲୁଛି। ଯେତେବେଳେ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ ଟା ପଳେଇବ, ୟୁ ରିଅଲାଇଜ ଜଷ୍ଟ ୱାନ୍ ପକ୍ଷୀ। ଏଠି ଯୋଉ ଭୋଗ ପକ୍ଷୀ ଗୋଟେ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି, ସେଟା ଜମା ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ କରୁନି ତତ୍ତ୍ୱ ସହିତ। ଜଷ୍ଟ ୱାଣ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଟୁ ଲେଟ୍ ୟୁ ନୋ। ଜୟଗୁରୁ।
ବେସିକାଲି ତାର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ହେଲା ଯେ ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ବା ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଗୋଟିଏ କରିବା, ତଳେ ଆମେ ଗୁଡାଏ ମାଠିଆ ରଖିଥିବା କି ବାଲ୍ଟି ରଖିଥିବା, ବାଲ୍ଟି ପାଣିରେ ତାଙ୍କର ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ ପଡିଲା। ସେ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ ଟା ପ୍ରକୃତ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ନୁହେଁ, ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ସନ। ଆଉ ତାକୁ ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ମାନେ ଅଦ୍ୱୈତ ବେଦାନ୍ତ କହୁଛି ଆଭାସ ମାତ୍ର, ଆଭାସ ଚୈତନ୍ୟ ୱାର୍ଡଟା ୟୁଜ କରାଯାଉଛି। ଆଭାସ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ ରିଅଲ। ପ୍ରତିମାନ ହଉଛି ତା ଭଳି, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ ରିଅଲ। ଏନିୱେ ଇଏ କୋଉଠୁ ଆଣିଛନ୍ତି ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ନୋ। ସୋ ୟା।
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରଶ୍ନ ଥିଲା, ମାନେ ଏଇ କଣ୍ଟେଷ୍ଟ ନୁହେଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମେ କେତେଦିନ ତଳେ ଏଇ ସଂଘରେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରୁଥିଲେ ଯେ ଯେମିତି ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଉପରେ ଡିସ୍କସନ ଚାଲିଥିଲା, ଆଉ ଆମେ ସେଠି କହିଲେ କି ସେଠି ଗୁରୁଙ୍କର କିଛି ବୀଜ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ନାହିଁ ବୋଲି, ମାନେ ସେଇଟା ମାନେ ଗୁରୁ ନିର୍ବିଜ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଭାଇ ଠାକୁର ତ ନିଜେ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ଯୋଉ ଏଥିରେ ଯୋଉ ଯୋଗୀ ଗୁରୁ କହିଲେ କି ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜ ଅଇଂ ବୋଲି, ମାନେ ଯୋଉ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୁରୁ ଚକ୍ର ବ୍ୟାଖ୍ୟା କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେତେବେଳେ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜ ବୋଲି। ତେଣୁ ସେଟା ଆସିଥିଲା କୋଉଠୁ, ମୁଁ ସେଟା ଟିକେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜ ହଉଥିଲି।
ମାନେ ଗୁରୁ ନିର୍ବିଚାର ଅଛି ବୋଧ ହୁଏ କଥା ସଂଗ୍ରହରେ ମୋର ଯେତିକି ମନେ ପଡୁଛି, କଥା ସଂଗ୍ରହ କିମ୍ବା କଥା ମୃତ ୱାନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦେମ୍ ଠାକୁରାଚାର୍ଯ୍ୟ କହିଛନ୍ତି ଗୁରୁ ନିର୍ବିଜ। କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ ଯୋଉ ଅଇନ ବୀଜଟା ମୁଁ ଜ୍ଞାନ ଅଛି କି ଧାରଣା କିଛି ସେ ଅଇନ ବୀଜ ଉପରେ
ନାଇଁ ଅଇନ ବୀଜଟା କଣ କି ଭାଇ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଷଟ୍ ଚକ୍ର ନବମ ଚକ୍ରରେ ଯୋଉ ଅଛି ଠାକୁର ଡିଫାଇନ କରିଛନ୍ତି ତା ଦେହରେ ଯୋଉଠି ଗୁରୁ ଚକ୍ର ଡିଫାଇନ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଗୁରୁ ଚକ୍ର ଯୋଉ ତ୍ରିକୋଣ ମଣ୍ଡଳର ମଝିରେ ଯେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ବୀଜ ଇଏ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ ସେଇଟା ହଉଛି ଅଇନ। ଯୋଗୀ ଗୁରୁ ସେଟା ମାନେ ଶତଦଳ ପଦ୍ମରେ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କ ସ୍ଥାନ। ସବୁ ପଦ୍ମରେ ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ତାଙ୍କର ମଣ୍ଡଳ ଅଛି, ତ୍ରିକୋଣ ମଣ୍ଡଳ, ଚତୁଷ୍କୋଣ ମଣ୍ଡଳ ଏମିତି ସବୁ ଅଛି, ସେଠି ହଉଛି ତ୍ରିକୋଣ ମଣ୍ଡଳ। ତ୍ରିକୋଣ ମଣ୍ଡଳ ମଝିରେ ଯୋଉ ଏକ ଅକ୍ଷରୀ ମନ୍ତ୍ରଟି ଥାଏ, ବୀଜଟି ଥାଏ, ତାକୁ ସେଇ ମଣ୍ଡଳର ବୀଜ ବୋଲି କହନ୍ତି। ସେଟା ସେଇ ଦୃଷ୍ଟିରେ ଅଇଂ ହଉଛି ସେଇ ଜାଗାର ସ୍ଥାନ। କିନ୍ତୁ
ଠାକୁର ଭାଇ ଏମିତି ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି କି ଏହି ହଂସ ଉପରେ ଶ୍ଵେତ ବର୍ଣ୍ଣ ବାଘ ବୀଜ ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜ ଅଇଂ ବିଦ୍ୟମାନ। ତାମାନେ ଠାକୁର କ୍ଲିୟର ଲେଖୁଛନ୍ତି ଏଟା ଅଇଂ ବୀଜ ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜ ଗୋଟେ। ଆଉ ପୁଣି ଟିକେ କନଫ୍ୟୁଜନ ରହୁଛି କଣ ସେଟା ମାନେ
ନାଇଁ ଇଏ ନିର୍ବୀଜ କଥାଟା ଠାକୁର ନିଜେ କହିଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ ଉପଦେଶ। ସେଇ ମୋରି ମନେ ପଡୁନି କଥା ମୃତ କଥା ସଂଗ୍ରହ, ସେଇ ଦିଟା ଭିତରୁ ଗୋଟେ ବହିରେ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟା ଭାଇ କହୁଛନ୍ତି। that is also true।
ମାନେ ମତେ ଲାଗୁଛି କୋଉଠି ପଢିଥିଲା ଭଳିଆ, କିନ୍ତୁ ମାନେ ସେଟା ବୋଧେ କିଏ ଶୁଣିକି ଲେଖିଥିବେ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଠାକୁର ନିଜେ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ କହିଲି ପଚାରିବା ପାଇଁ। ମାନେ ଆଜ୍ଞା
ପାଇଲେ ମୁଁ ପଢିବା କେତେବେଳେ ତେଣୁ ଆଉ ଦେଖିବା, ହଉ ଖୋଜିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବା। ପାଇଗଲି ଭାଇ ବୋଧେ, ପାଇଗଲି। ସେଟା ହଉଛି କଥା ସଂଗ୍ରହ ପ୍ରଥମ ଭାଗ 36 ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜ। ଶିଷ୍ୟ ଠାକୁର ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜ କାହାକୁ କହନ୍ତି? ଶିଷ୍ୟ ଠାକୁର ଗୁରୁ ବୀଜଙ୍କୁ ଜ୍ଞାନ ବୀଜ ବା ବାଗ୍ ଭବ ବୀଜ ବୋଲି କୁହାଯାଏ। ଶିଷ୍ୟ ମୁଁ ବାଗ୍ ଭବ ବୀଜ କଥା କହୁନାହିଁ, ଦେବତା ମାନଙ୍କର ଯେଭଳି ବୀଜ ଅଛି ସେଇଭଳି ସଦ୍ଗୁରୁଙ୍କର କୌଣସି ବୀଜ ଅଛି କି ନାହିଁ? ଠାକୁର ତାକୁ ଆନ୍ସର କରୁଛନ୍ତି ନା ସଦ୍ଗୁରୁ ନିର୍ବୀଜ, କାରଣ ସେ ନିର୍ଗୁଣ। ତାପରେ ଶିଷ୍ୟ ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି ଯଦି କୌଣସି ବୀଜ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଦ୍ଵାରା ଗୁରୁଙ୍କର ସାଧନା ହୁଏ ନାହିଁ, ତେବେ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ଆସନ ପ୍ରତିଷ୍ଠା କରି କେଉଁ ଭାବରେ ଗୁରୁଦେବଙ୍କୁ ପୂଜା କରାଯାଉଛି? ଠାକୁର ଉତ୍ତର ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ପ୍ରତ୍ୟେକ ଆଶ୍ରମରେ ବେଦର ମହାବାକ୍ୟ ଦ୍ୱାରା ଗୁରୁ ବ୍ରହ୍ମଙ୍କର ପୂଜା ସମ୍ପାଦିତ ହୋଇଥାଏ। ତ ବେସିକାଲି ଠାକୁର ତାକୁ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରିଦେଲେ ଯେ ଯୋଉ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ମନ୍ତ୍ର କଥା ପଡିଛି, ବାଘ ବୀଜ ଆଉ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କ ମନ୍ତ୍ର, ବାଘ ଭବ ବୀଜ ଆଉ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଟୁ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ। ଆଉ କିଛି ଅଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍? ନାହିଁ ଗୋଟେ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ
ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଭାଇ, ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଯୋଉ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ମହାମନ୍ତ୍ର କହୁ, ତାହେଲେ ସେଇଟାକୁ ମାନେ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ଯୋଉ ଜପ କଲା ଭଳିଆ ଯୋଉ ହୁଏ, ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମେ କଣ ବୀଜ ମନ୍ତ୍ର କହିବୁନୁ?
ମୁଁ ଜାଣେ ଏଟା ବୀଜ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ନୁହେଁ, ଠାକୁର ସିଦ୍ଧ କରିଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ମନ୍ତ୍ର। ଆଉ ଠାକୁର କହିଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ମାନେ ଏନି ଶିଷ୍ୟ ତାଙ୍କ ଗୁରୁଙ୍କୁ ଡାକି ପାରିବେ ଜୟଗୁରୁ ଦ୍ୱାରା। ସେଟା ବୀଜ ମନ୍ତ୍ରରେ ଯିବ ନାହିଁ। ସିଦ୍ଧ ମନ୍ତ୍ର ଆମକୁ ତାକୁ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଜପ କରିବା ପାଇଁ।
ଭାଇ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଥିଲା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଭାଇ, ଏଇଟା ସଂଘ ସେବକ 59th ଇୟର ପାର୍ଟ 1 ସେଇଠି କୁହା ହଉଛି କି ଜ୍ଞାନ ସାଧନାର ବିଘ୍ନ କଣ ସବୁ? ସେଇଠି ମାନେ ସେ ଆର୍ଟିକଲ ସବୁ ବୁଝା ହେଇଛି, ଖାଲି ଗୋଟିଏ ବୁଝା ହେଇନି। ତ ମୁଁ ପଢି ଦଉଛି ଟିକେ ଖାଲି। ଏଗୁଡିକ ହେଲା 8ଟି: ଅନୁସନ୍ଧାନ ରାହିତ୍ୟ, ଆଳସ୍ୟ ପରାୟଣତା, ସାଂସାରିକ ଭୋଗ ଲାଳସା, ଭୟ, ତମ ବା ଜଡତା, ଚିତ୍ତ ବିକ୍ଷେପ, ରସାସ୍ୱାଦ ଓ ଶୂନ୍ୟତା। ଭାଇ ଆଉ ସବୁ ଯା ବୁଝା ହେଇଛି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଶୂନ୍ୟତା କୁହା ହେଇନି କଣ? ଭାଇ ଶୂନ୍ୟତା ମାନେ କଣ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ମାନେ ଜ୍ଞାନ ସାଧନାକୁ ବିଘ୍ନ କରିହବ?
ଶୂନ୍ୟତା ଭାଇ ମୁଁ ତ ଜାଣିପାରୁଛି ତାର କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସଟା କଣ, ମୁଁ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛି ଶୂନ୍ୟତାର କଣ୍ଟେକ୍ସଟା କଣ।
ନାଇଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା, ମୋର ଯାହା ଧାରଣା ହଉଛି, ଆଇ ଏମ୍ ନଟ୍ 100% ସିଓର, शून्यता कौन कि अद्वैत वेदांत रे गोटे देयर इज अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस बिटवीन अद्वैत वेदांत एंड बौद्ध स्पेशली गोटे टाइप रो बुद्धिज्म से माने विश्वास करती जे एवरीथिंग इज void and it's the world exists it doesn't exist ए टाइप रो जिंस अद्वैत वेदांत बिलीव करे जे ब्रह्म अछंती एगुडा सब तार रिफ्लेक्शन आपण जदि ब्रह्म नाहांती बोली भाबिबे शून्यता बोली भाबिबे सेटा गोटे बड़ इम्पेडिमेंट टू रियलाइज दैट सेल्फ आवर सेल्फ दैट वी आर ब्रह्म तेणु सेटा अद्वैत वेदांत सब बेले से शून्यता को बहुत जोर रे ये कराई जे से ट्रैप रे यदि पड़ी जिबे आ सेटू बाहरी परिबेनी इफ यू अस्यूम देयर इज नथिंग दैट्स void तेणु
शून्य हां सेटा शून्यवाद नहीं बोधने शून्यवादी
हां माने
शून्यवाद एटा कथा कहिसंती कि माने
राइट राइट नहीं बौद्ध मानक शून्यवादी बोली कुआ जाए किंतु तांकर जो बिलीफ इज शून्य शून्यता होची तांकर बिलीफ
हां
सो सेई धारणाटा यदि वेदांत ज्ञानवादी मानकर रहिला ताले से माने आ प्रोग्रेस करि परिबेनी इट स्टक हि जिवे देयर इज नथिंग आउट देयर व्हाट डू आई डू सेटा होची तारो दैट्स व्हाट आई थिंक जय गुरु
Yeah, maybe I don't know exactly शून्यता अर्थ को कहउछंती किंतु या that's right भाई जो कहले जे अद्वैतवादी जे किछि नाही सरी अंकर बौद्धंकर किछि नाही किंतु ज्ञानवादी माने कहउछंती यदि किछि नाही से किछि नाही बोली अनुभव करछि कि जे अनुभव करछि से अनुभव ही रहिछि सब बेले से अनुभव ही रहिछि जे कहउछि जे किछि नाही जे मु किछि देखि पल्ली किछि न दाई मो एक्सपीरियंस आतो एक्सपीरियंस करूछि के जे अनुभवी ये एग्जिस्ट एटा ला वेदांतर सर्वतत्व नहीं समय भक्ति से ठाकुर महंत गोटे महात्मा माने पारा पढ़ी बोली गोटे रहा समय हेलानी जीवा आमर वाई सेशन को सारस्वत वाई प्रार्थना संगीत जय गुरु
प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे मन वृंग प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे मन वृंग प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे तुम प्रेम ज्योति मधुर परति तुम प्रेम ज्योति मधुर परति अंतरे उठुए जनी प्रभु तुम गंज चरणे मन वृंग प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे सुनाइला मृतवाणी देखाइला प्रेम तरणी सुनाइला मृतवाणी देखाइला प्रेम तरणी तेहि बाणी सुनी तेहि पथे चली तेहि बाणी सुनी तेहि पथे चली कसिति आम हृदय कली प्रभु तुम कंज चरणे कुपथरे गमीले मन भोगोने जेते कसन कुपथरे गमीले मन भोगोने जेते कसण ते कसण कथा गरी तब प्राणी ते कसण कथा गरी तब प्राणी व्यथा पाओ तुमे आमठु बली प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी मन भृंग करई प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी जीवन रे करी चुआस भूषण तुम्हारी पास जीवन रे करी चुआस भूषण तुम्हारी पास नीति नीति प्रभु बोली है नीति नीति प्रभु बोली है तुम श्री चरण पवित्र धूली प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी मन भृंगाम करई प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी मन भृंगाम करई प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी तुम प्रेम ज्योति मधुर परसी तुम प्रेम ज्योति मधुर परसी अंतरे आम उठुए जरी प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी मन भृंगाम करई प्रभु तुम कंज चरणी जय
Joy Guru young aspirant. This is Gaurav Bhai. Happy to join today young aspirant session. So I am going to first take the attendance and then I will ask Saraswata to little bit explain the song he just sang. In the meantime, think about questions. Typically the sessions I join, I always encourage that if you have some questions to discuss, then we can discuss that question. Otherwise, I will just discuss some of the things about Thakra and spirituality. So, but think about some questions, okay? That would make the sessions really good to have some discussion. So with this thing, let me first take attendance. Aditi?
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai Guru. Adhyasa? Adhyasa is absent. So I see.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Anhik?
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Ons? Ons looks absent. Onshul? I think Onshul there.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Or not?
भाई से पूजा नहीं जय गुरु.
Okay. Absent. Harun Arush. I think both are absent. Aryan.
जय गुरु.
Jai Guru. Asrita.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Jemu. Looks like Jemu is absent. Divyam. Looks like Divyam is absent. Timmy. Looks like Timmy is absent. Eva.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai Guru. Jagrat.
Jagur will come in a pair.
Jai Guru. Naitik.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai Guru. Pratyusha. Pratyusha looks like absent. Pratyush is absent. Sami is absent. Saraswat.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Very good. Sarthak. Sarthak looks like absent. So Bhakti.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Very good. Bobby.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Oh, Jai. Okay. You're there. Jai. Kirti. Kirti looks like absent. So Ani.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai. Shreyasi.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai. Jimmy.
Jai Guru.
Oh, Jai Guru. Okay. Jimmy is there. Simran.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru. Srija.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai Guru. Suhani. Looks like she's absent. Yukta.
Jai Guru Bhai.
Jai Guru. So, did I miss anybody's name or anybody present I didn't hear? Looks like it is good today. Quite a bit absent. So let's get started. Okay, whoever is there. So let's get started. So, Saraswat, please go ahead and little bit explain the song you just sang.
Jai. The song is basically asking Chakra, and it's talking to Chakra, and it says, Chakra, our mind prays at your lotus feet for enlightenment with the brightness of your blessing and love. Chakra, our hearts have been conditioned by following your advice, teaching, and love. When our mind deviates from the correct path, we face many difficulties and much pain. By seeing our suffering, you get hurt many times more than the pain we feel. Chakra, we mortal humans desire nothing more than to stay always with you. Jai Guru.
So, this is really good. Thank you. Why do you think Thakura feels more pain than seeing our... So, the suffering, we see the suffering. Right? We have pain, difficulty, and suffering in the world. So, according to the song, what you just explained, Thakura feels more pain than what we feel the pain. Why is that?
Jai Guru, I think it's because Thakura, he's like a parent to us, and like he feels it harms them a lot more than it could harm us, because that's the amount he loves us, because he loves us so much that he cannot bear to see us in any amount of pain. Even the slightest amount of pain for us could mean lots of pain for him. Jai Guru.
Yes, this is really good. So it is definitely the final answer is the love, but love is much beyond that, because Thakur's love is love with knowledge. So that is the difference, So let's say a baby is suffering from fever or whatever, and the mother is definitely feel the more pain than the baby. It's because of the love, and sees that a little baby is suffering, and the mother feels more pain because of love. But in Thakur's case, it is just not the love with the knowledge. Let me tell you how that is even more magnified pain for him. So imagine a doctor, and a patient. Let's say the father himself is a doctor. So there is a baby. The father himself is a doctor, and he is a father and also a doctor. So he sees that the baby is suffering. So that's why the father feels the pain. As a father, he also feels the pain that his own son or daughter is suffering from fever. But also, because he has the knowledge, he realized that this disease where the baby is suffering is pretty dangerous. So if he is not knowing that how dangerous that fever is, then he has a certain amount of pain for him. But when he has the knowledge of what level of that fever is, you can imagine how much that pain goes to him. So in Thakur's case, he's not just the embodiment of love, or also the knowledge. So when he sees that we are suffering in this world, it's not just the suffering out of what we do and our karmic consequences, but also he sees that the level of ignorance we are in. And when he sees that the level of ignorance, the karma and its consequences, where it can lead, he can also see that. So that's why Thakur's pain for us is actually multiplied more. So the following question with this thing, anybody can answer, but I'm just, it immediately brings me another thought. And to ask you is that if Thakur is still suffering because of our suffering, then what kind of enlightenment he got? Because if by definition, enlightenment is the end of all suffering, and he is still suffering for us, what kind of enlightenment he got? Anybody? So anybody? I have to call the name. So let me go to some older young aspirant. This is a good I think this is a question I'm sure somebody must be thinking. So let me go to Bhakti.
Jagirabhai, can you repeat the last part of your question? I missed that.
Okay. So we know that there is a lot of ignorance, a lot of suffering in this world. So Thakur is also suffering because we are suffering. That song he just sang is about that actually. Right? So if the definition of enlightenment is the end of suffering, and Thakur is supposed to be enlightened, that's what we all believe in his sadhana and siddhi and all these things. But if he's still suffering, what kind of enlightenment is that then?
I think this is a tough question, but from what I understand in the song is like we love Thakura, and Thakura also loves us and cares for us. And even though he has done all the sadhana to become enlightened and everything, he still feels for the emotions from bhaktas and devotees.
Right. So anybody else? That is, it's definitely a tough question. So Ani, would you like to say your thoughts?
Jagu, my thought is along the same lines. I think that after Thakura gained enlightenment, I think his suffering now comes in a different way, where he has the perspective now where he understands maybe what's to come for us in the future and what the meaning for our suffering is, but the suffering that he feels from seeing us suffer, I said suffer many times, but it's rather his care for us. It doesn't feel the same way as it would had he felt that for us before he had gotten enlightenment. Jagru.
Yes. So let me. This is really good. There is the enlightenment is the complete dissolution of your individual identity. So that's actually what happens. Okay, so the individuality totally drops out. Your suffering, the root cause of all suffering in this world is that you are separate. You are separate from the rest of the world. And that is the beginning of all the kind of pain and suffering in this world, the separateness. The moment that separateness dissolves, you become one with the everything. And that's the enlightenment. In that case, in that situation, your individuality drops out. But in case of Guru, it is a little different. He, although in the one hand he is totally merged with the oneness, but out of pure compassion he comes back to help. Not everybody comes back, but some do. Okay, some do. And who does it and who doesn't? It is just there is no basic reason behind it. There is no because in any given point there are gurus always there. Okay, we have gotten in the form of Thakura, but the same guru is doing in many different ways, in the different way. So when they come back, they have to be in the form of a human, otherwise we don't relate. So although knowledge is all over the place, we don't relate. That's why the closest way we'll relate is in a human form. That's why they can come back in the human form. And when they come back in the human form, and they have to build this relationship with us, they get kind of entangled in this process. But it is not that they forget that who they are in the core, in the connected. They are connected to the everything else. So the suffering, what he talked about, that I also suffer for the pain of the people and my this thing, it's the aspect that is actually coming to this world in the form of Thakura and the human. But deep down, he is always enlightened. There is nothing touches him. He is beyond all pain, all suffering, all ignorance. Everything is beyond everything. So that is the thing we need to understand. When you really understand that, one quality you will develop, if you really, really understand what I just said, that you will understand how compassionate he is when he is in absolute. He is the full joy, he is the full knowledge. There is no ignorance is there. He is coming back just and getting, putting his leg in the mud, getting dirty because of us, just to pull us out from this thing. So that is the highest form of compassion, takes the form of Guru. Okay, so Guru is the highest compassionate form of that oneness, that Brahman, or that whatever you call it, pure consciousness. So that is why it is what it is. Okay, so Thakur used to say that I am a householder in this spiritual world. So he became a householder. He suffered. He took different sufferings of their disciples. Did all this kind of thing. Whatever it takes, he realized that will help him in the spiritual growth. He has done it. That's what the gurus should do. So this puts down to another question: why? So if some people like gurus come to this world and they do all these things, what happens to the people who get enlightened and they do nothing, like Thakur? Okay, so it will go on. So anybody has a question? I'm forgetting actually. So do anybody has a question for me to discuss?
Speaker, this is Simran. So my question was, is pure love and devotion the same thing towards Thakur, or is it a different thing, Speaker?
So yeah, thank you for the question. Anybody who can clearly say me the question? I have always difficulty, understanding the question. Anybody who can say what the question she asked?
Jai Guru Bhai, this is Simran. This is Shrita. Simran is saying that is pure love towards Thakur and devotion the same thing or different?
The love and the devotion. So the question is love and the devotion same thing?
Hereby, yes.
Okay, so devotion is part of love, okay? So love manifests in many different ways. Actually, infinite ways. Love manifests in infinite ways. One of the ways is the devotion. So when you are devoted, so love expresses itself in one of the ways is the devotion. Okay, you are devoted to Thakur. So that is actually an aspect of love, your love for Thakur. Okay. So devotion can be in devotion also in many ways you can be devoted to Thakur, but devotion is an expression of love. So does that answer the question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody? By the way, what is love? Anybody want to answer that question? We always talk about love, right? So, and it is pretty used to what is love. So anybody have ever thought what is love means? So nobody is coming forward, so I have to call the name. Aditi, what do you mean by love?
Jaguru, love means that you feel happy when you see a person and you feel connected to them. Jaguru?
Yes. Happiness is one of the expression of love for sure. Anybody else? I see. What do you mean by love? So one thing Aditi said, it is happiness. You know, you feel happy. So love has a consequence. It gives you joy, happiness. It's a similar thing, joy and happiness. What do you mean by love? Anybody?
Jaguru, love is almost like a power between people that it's like stronger than anything, and it's like it's as Aditi said, it's like it has a strong positive feeling. Jaguru?
It's actually it's a strong positive. It is actually the in the nature there are so many forces are there. I think the strongest force of nature is love. It is not always linear, have to be even to people. You can love can be for a concept, also for an idea, for an philosophy. You can develop love for a particular ideology also. Love is so infinitely, it can express itself. You cannot even imagine. Of course, most commonly it is between people, and it is a very strong positive force. Okay, Anshul, what do you mean by love? Anybody? Any thought you have?
Jaguru?
Yes.
I guess, well, it's a human emotion. So, I guess it's when you feel most connected with someone.
It's definitely emotion. Emotion, it expresses through emotion. It expresses through service. It expresses itself through joy and happiness, what they just said. It expresses itself through devotion to something. It expresses in many ways. And it is just not a mere sentiment or emotion. Actually, love is at the heart of the creation itself. That's actually a statement by Rabindranath Tagore. I'm just repeating. Love is not mere sentiment. He said it is the root of creation, heart of creation. But anyway, so if you keep on asking about what love is, anybody want to say what love is? You think?
Take care, guys. This is Shrija. I think love means unconditional likeness. Take care.
Wow, it is coming, Shrija. Do you know what unconditional means? I'm really blown away by your answer. Nobody said that. What is unconditional? Tell me.
J-Girl, it's like more than how much it means, JK.
Wow, I don't know what you mean by really. If you really mean it, you are you are already there. So so unconditional likeness. I love it. Anybody want to tell more on that? Just she said. So most love is conditional. Okay, most love is conditional. In fact, if you really think about it, you love Thakur because you get some kind of peace, right? Happiness, or at least you read his book, you get inspired by him. It gives a solace when you are in despair or in unhappiness. So, do you think that love is unconditional? What happens if Thakur would not have inspired you, would not have written the books, would not have influence in your life? Can you have that devotion towards him? It's pretty. It gets. So I'm not. See, the purpose of this young aspen session and all of you, it's most of the spiritual practices in our society. So told ritualistic. You go do certain things, you read some books or pray some prayer and go. If you really want to get into spirituality, if you really want to see a transformation, if you really want to see a mutation at your genetic level, a consciousness, a shift in consciousness, it's not going to happen unless and until you ask these tough questions. And not borrowing some idea from anybody, you have to find that within you with resolve and it's an inner struggle that will go for a long time if you really want to step into spirituality. It's not a struggle outside. You go with weapons in your hands, and it's an inner struggle, and one has to really go through that unless this. Outside things are good because it is created for a reason. You need to have a uniform. You need to have a certain things to have a certain identity, but it won't transform unless and until you ask these questions and find deep answers within yourself, not reading something, somebody said something. So this is the question, you need to ask, I'm always saying that I love Thakur, I love this, I love that. Is it, what could have happened? Do you think our love for Thakur is unconditional? Anybody want to say that? Or it is conditional? So this brings again, it's a very tough question. So we always get driven in this world because we have certain needs. We are suffering at some point. We need help. We need this and we need that. We are needy. We are always needy. We are needy for getting rid of our ignorance. We are needy for having permanent joy. We are needy that we are suffering. Our suffering should go away. We are needy. Always there is a need. And Thakur is giving this thing so that I can go to, be enlightened and happy and I can serve him. What in return it will give? I will be more joyous. That's all. It's driven by something. Okay. So, as long as that is there, you are still far from Thakur. Remember that. It is because it is still your needs are there, and that no matter how much color you give to that need, you can give very sattvic needs. You can give it is bliss. It is just pure seva, this, that, and all. But imagine if it was not giving you the joy, or at least getting rid of your suffering, you would not be doing that. So there is a selfishness there actually. No matter how subtle it is, no matter how much color you put it, a spiritual color, that is there. So the unconditional love only comes when you are fulfilled. You are totally full. There is nothing needed from you. There is absolutely nothing you are needing in this world. You don't have even aspiration to get rid of your ignorance. You don't have aspiration to be enlightened. Nothing is there. then only unconditional love can happen. So true love, which is actually unconditional, as Srija said, among all the definitions, which I will put a capital L love. If there is one definition, that is the experiential knowledge of unity consciousness. When you don't feel the separateness from anything else, at that point, you can have unconditional love. Okay, that is what brings Thakur back to this world. Unconditional love. He was total. Within Nirvikalpa Samadhi, he was one with the universe. There was nothing lacking. There was no lack or anything. He has become one. But he comes back with that unconditional love. That's why whether you worship Thakur or not worship Thakur, whether you do, nothing can bother him actually, to be honest with you. You do it, it's for you actually, not for him. Okay, with this thing today, our time is anyway up. Is there any last question, anybody? Or it is all okay, good for today? Looks like it is good for today, no more questions. So I think Bhavo Vinima, I think Bhavo Vinima, who is Bhavo for today? Bhavo Vinima is Bobby. Bobby, go ahead for Bhavo Vinima. Jai Guru. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru. Today I have Bhavanima Seva. I recently went and attended our Sangha Samilani, and it was a great experience. Not only was it great to see all the Bhais, Mas, and young aspirants back together, but it also gave me an opportunity to reflect on the past year and what's to come for me. This past year, I graduated high school, and though it was a bit stressful in the beginning with applications, it was a ton of fun afterwards, and I was able to enjoy every moment. I know that none of it would have been possible without Thakura's blessings and his ability to guide me on my path. Looking forward to the fall, I am excited to start college and continue to progress towards my dreams and goals. I know that I won't be able to attend morning and evening puja anymore, but I pray to Thakura that I'll be able to read my Parijapatra every day and tell him about my day daily. Over the summer, I've continued to coach and referee at my local YMCA, and it's been such a fun experience to coach the kids, not only about the sports, but also how they can be the best versions of themselves. At home, I've been continuing to read Sadhguru Swami Nigamananda, and I've learned a lot about Thakura's spiritual journey. One of the things that I've been able to implement recently is always being in the moment and enjoying it. And I've definitely done this more after I finished my applications and was able to spend more time with my family and friends. And I've been able to enjoy every moment as I transition to another chapter of my life. I pray to Thakura to continue to strengthen my devotion for him and continue guiding me during my first year of college and beyond. Jai Guru.
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ମାନେ ରିଫ୍ଲେକ୍ଟିଂ ଗତ ବର୍ଷ ଭିତରେ ଆଉ ଏବେ ଭିତରେ ମାନେ କ'ଣ ଏକ୍ସପିରିଏନ୍ସ କରିଛି କ'ଣ ଇଏ ହେଇଛି ଏମିତି ନିଜର କିଛି ମାନେ ଆଇ ହାଭ୍ ନଟ୍ ନୋଟିସ୍ ଏ ହୋଲ୍ ଲଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଡିଫରେନ୍ସ ଇନ୍ ମାଇ ମୋର କ'ଣ ହେଇଛି ନ ହେଇଛି बहुत गुड जिनस have happened just around me how some there are losses as well as things which have moved on as usual and how Thakur Kruparu things are for most part things are okay and I don't have any regrets nor ये जे गोटे जिन माने एक्सपीरियंस अनुसार देखा गले माने आपनकर जेते बळे when you feel जे ठाकुर सदाबळे पाखरे अछंती the more the stronger that feeling is pretty much everything is okay ଆଉ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ମାନେ ଭୁଲି ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି କିମ୍ବା ମାନେ ରହୁନାହାନ୍ତି ଜଣେ ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ ଭୁଲି ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କୁ କିମ୍ବା सी ठीक ये करूना से then a lot of things happen which you regret or कहे कले that connectedness when it is not there, then there's something has to happen to bring you back to that realization. ସେଇଟା ଯେତେ ଯେତେ ଆପଣ ତାଙ୍କ ଉପରେ ନିର୍ଭର କରିବେ ସେତେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଅନ୍ୟ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡା ମାନେ ପ୍ରଥମ first it has to be the belief, then vishwas nirvarta, then as it becomes stronger, then everything falls in place. ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା ଯେ ଯେମିତି ତାଙ୍କ ଉପରେ ସଦାବେଳେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସଟା ଥାଉ ଯେମିତି। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଠାକୁର ଆମର ଆଜି ଏଠି ଅଧିବେଶନ ଶେଷ ଯାଉଛି ଆଉ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ୟାପରେ ବିଶ୍ରାମ ଗୃହକୁ ନିଆଯିବ ଆଉ ତାପରେ ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ଭୋଗ ନିବେଦନ କରାଯିବ ଆଉ ତାପରେ ସରିଲା କୀର୍ତ୍ତନ ସରିଲା ପରେ ଠାକୁର ଭୋଗ ଦିଆଗଲା ପରେ ଏଠି ଆଶ୍ରମ ଯୋଉ ଭାଇ ଓ ମା ମାନେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ମଧ୍ୟାହ୍ନ ପ୍ରସାଦ ପାଇଁକା ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ ଜଣାଉଛି। ଆଉ ଆଜି ସନ୍ଧ୍ୟାବେଳେ ନିତ୍ୟ ପୂଜା 6:30 ଅନୁଷ୍ଠିତ ହବ। ବିଜୟ ଭାଇ ଏଠି ପୂଜା କରିବେ, ତାଙ୍କ ତରଫରୁ ମୁଁ ଠାକୁରଙ୍କୁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଛି। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ମୁଁ
ଟିକେ ରୁହନ୍ତୁ, ଆର୍ୟନର ଅଛି ଏବେ ଇନଭିଟେସନ। ଆର୍ୟନ
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ପ୍ରାଣର ଠାକୁର ଭକ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ୟଙ୍ଗ ଆସ୍ପିରେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ମାନେ ମୋର ନେକ୍ସଟ ୱାଇ ସେସନରେ ପାଳି ଅଛି ଆଉ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ମୁଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଛି। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ପ୍ରାଣର ଠାକୁର ଆଉ ସମସ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ଓ ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କୁ ମୁଁ ଆସନ୍ତା ରବିବାର ଅଗଷ୍ଟ 6 ତାରିଖ ସଂଘ ପୂଜାକୁ ନିମନ୍ତ୍ରଣ କରୁଛି। ସମସ୍ତେ ସଂଘ ପୂଜା ଯୋଗ ଦେଇ ପୂଜା ଟିକେ ସଫଳ କରିବେ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ। ଠାକୁର ଭକ୍ତ ଭାଇ ମା ମାନେ ଆଉ ୟଙ୍ଗ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ ମାନେ ଆଜି ମୋର ଆଉ ବବିର ସେବା ପାଳିଥିଲା। ଜଣାତ ଅଜଣାତରେ ଯାହା କିଛି ତ୍ରୁଟି ହେଇଛି ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କ୍ଷମା ପ୍ରାର୍ଥନା କରୁଛୁ। ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ।
ଦୀନନାଥ ଭିକ୍ଷା ପରେ ଶ୍ରୀ ଚରଣୀ ଦୀନନାଥ ଭିକ୍ଷା ପରେ ଶ୍ରୀ চরণী তব কথা রাখিথিবি মননি স্মরণী দেবতা রাখিথিবি মননি স্মরণী বাহারে কি হেলানি না করে তো জানা বাহারে কি হেলানি না করে তো জানা করিবি পর দোষ খোঁজি বলি নধাইব মন, পর দোষ খোঁজি বলি নধাইব মন, লাগিথিবি সদা করি আত্ম সংশোধন প্রভু, লাগিথিবি সদা করি আত্ম সংশোধন। বচনি আলাপে হেয় রতন সংযত, বচনি আলাপে হেয় রতন সংযত, ঘুঞ্চি যাও অবসাদ দেহর জড়ত্ব প্রভু, ঘুঞ্চি যাও অবসাদ দেহর জড়ত্ব। উচিত ভাষণে নহু কিছু অন্তরায়, উচিত ভাষণে নহু কিছু অন্তরায়, যথা কর্ম হেউ চিত্ত শুদ্ধির সহায় নাথ, যথা কর্ম হেউ চিত্ত শুদ্ধির সহায়। নিরল স্বভাবে তব আদেশ পালন, নিরল স্বভাবে তব আদেশ পালন, পরিজীবী হেউ তাহি প্রাণর স্ফুরণ দেব, পরিজীবী হেউ তাহি প্রাণর স্ফুরণ। নমানিবি কাহি কেউ বারণ বন্ধন, নমানিবি কাহি কেউ বারণ বন্ধন, নমানিবি কাহি কেউ বারণ বন্ধন। জহি ঠাই রহি থাও তব পদে মন প্রভু, জহি ঠাই রহি থাও তব পদে মন প্রভু, জহি ঠাই রহি থাও তব পদে মন। জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়, 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 জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু, জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু,
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়,
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়,
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়,
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়,
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু
জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয়, জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় 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 জয় শ্রী ঠাকুরের প্রেমানন্দ বলে গোপাল শ্রী শ্রী গুরু মহারাজের জয় জয় গুরু জয় গুরু জয় গুরু।
ଜୟ ଗୁରୁ ସରି ଦିଟା କଥା କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଲା ଜଣେ ଭକ୍ତ ମତେ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପଚାରିଥିଲେ, ତ ଆଫ୍ଟର ଆଇ ଆନ୍ସର ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ସିଏ ମତେ ଗୋଟେ ଅନୁରୋଧ କଲେ, ଗୋଟେ ରିକ୍ୱେଷ୍ଟ, ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆଇ ଫେଲ୍ଟ ଭ୍ୟାଲିଡ୍ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଅଲସୋ ଭ୍ୟାଲିଡ୍ ରିକ୍ୱେଷ୍ଟ, ସେଟାକୁ ଆଇ ଜଷ୍ଟ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ପାସ୍ ଅନ୍ ଟୁ ରିକ୍ୱେଷ୍ଟ ଟାକୁ। ସେ କହୁଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଟା କ'ଣ, ତା ଆନ୍ସର କ'ଣ କହୁଛି। ସେ ମତେ ପଚାରିଲେ ଯେ ଶରତ ଭାଇ ମା ଯେ ଆସିଥିଲେ ଆମର ନଳିନୀ ମା ତାଙ୍କର ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ କିଏ ଦେଲା? ତାର ଆନ୍ସରଟା ହେଲା ଏଇଆ ଯେ ଶରତ ଭାଇଙ୍କର ୟୁଏସ୍ ଆସିବା ୟୁଏସ୍ ଯିବା ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚଟା ସଂଘ ଦେଇଛି ଅଣ୍ଟିଲ୍ ୟୁଏସ୍। ତାଙ୍କ ଯୋଉ ଇଣ୍ଟରନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଟିକେଟଟା ହେଲା ୟୁଏସ୍ ପହଞ୍ଚିବା ଆଉ ୟୁଏସ୍ ଛାଡିବା ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ସଂଘ ଦେଇଛି। ନଳିନୀ ମାଙ୍କ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚଟା ସେଇ ଯୋଉ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚଟା ସେଇ ୟୁଏସ୍ ଆସିବା ୟୁଏସ୍ ଛାଡିବା ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ପହଞ୍ଚିବା ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚଟା ଶରତ ଭାଇ ବହନ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ସଂଘ ସେଥିରେ ଗୋଟେ ଟିକେ ପଇସା ମଧ୍ୟ ଦେଇନାହିଁ। ନଳିନୀ ମାଙ୍କ ସମ୍ପୂର୍ଣ୍ଣ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଯିବା ଆସିବା ଟିକେଟଟା ଶରତ ଭାଇ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ତାପରେ ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚଟା ହେଲା ଡୋମେଷ୍ଟିକ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ସେଗୁଡାକ ସଂଘ ଦେଇନାହିଁ। ଜଷ୍ଟ ଟୁ ବି କ୍ଲିୟର ଡୋମେଷ୍ଟିକ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରାଭେଲ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଗୁଡାକ ହେଲା ଭାଇ ମାଙ୍କୁ ଯିଏ ନେଲେ ସେମାନେ ସେ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଦେଲେ, ଯିଏ ଯୁଆଡେ ନେଲେ ସେ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ସେମାନେ ଦେଲେ। ଆଉ ତା ଛଡା ଗୋଟେ ବସ୍ ଟିକେଟ ଭାଇ ଗଲେ କୋଉଠୁ ଡିସିରୁ ନ୍ୟୁୟର୍କ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ଲାଇଟ୍ ଟିକେଟ ଭାଇଙ୍କର ମାଙ୍କର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ଲାଇଟ୍ ଟିକେଟ ଭାଇଙ୍କର ମାଙ୍କର ହେଲା କୋଉଠୁ ନା ଚିକାଗୋରୁ ବଫଲୋ, ସେଇଟା ଆଉ 2 ଜଣ ଭକ୍ତ ସେୟାର କରିଛନ୍ତି। So ସଂଘ did not pay single penny to flight. ସେଇଠୁ ସେ ଭକ୍ତ ମତେ କହିଲେ ଯେ ଦିସ୍ should be communicated to ଭକ୍ତ in India. ତାଙ୍କର ପଏଣ୍ଟ ହେଲା which I found out later on is happening to some extent ଯେ ସେଠି ଗୁଡାଏ ଟୁକୁଲ ଚାପ ଚାଲୁଛି ବା ଚାଲିବ ଯେ ଆମେରିକା ସଂଘ ମାଙ୍କୁ ପଇସା ଟିକେଟ ଦେଇକି ନେଲେ ମାଙ୍କୁ ବୁଲେଇଲେ ଇତ୍ୟାଦି ଇତ୍ୟାଦି କି ଭାଇଙ୍କୁ ବୁଲେଇଲେ। Again just to clarify, ଆମେରିକା ସଂଘ not paid a penny towards ମାଙ୍କର ଟିକେଟ ଅନୁସାରେ ଟିକେଟ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ କି ତାଙ୍କ ଡୋମେଷ୍ଟିକ ଖର୍ଚ୍ଚ ସଂଘ ପେ କରିନାହିଁ। ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯୋଉମାନେ ନେଇଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ପେ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ଯଦି ଆପଣ କେବେ ଚାନ୍ସ ପାଆନ୍ତି କି ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ କାହା ସାଙ୍ଗେ କଥା ହେଲା ବେଳେ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ସାଙ୍ଗରେ କି କାହା ସାଙ୍ଗେ କଥା ହେଲା ବେଳେ କିନ୍ତୁ କେତେ ଚାନ୍ସ ଡୁ କମ୍ୟୁନିକେଟ କାରଣ ସେଠି ସିଏ କହିଲେ ଯେ ଗୁଡାଏ ରିମୋଟ ଚାଲିବ ସେଠି। ଦ୍ୱିତୀୟ କଥା କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଯେ ଆମର ଇଏ ବିଷୟରେ କଣ ଗଲାଥର କହିଥିଲି ସେଟା ଯେ ଆମର ଯୋଉ ସମ୍ମିଳନୀ ସମୀକ୍ଷା ଫର୍ମ ଫିଲଅପ ହେଇଥିଲା ମୁଁ ଜାଣି ମାନେ ମୁଁ ଗଣିଥିଲି ମୋ ମନେ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟ ନମ୍ବର ମନେ ପଡୁନି, ବୋଧେ 5-6 ଜଣ ଭକ୍ତ ନାଁ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ ବାକି କେହି ନାଁ ଦେଇନାହାନ୍ତି। କିନ୍ତୁ ଗୁଡାଏ ନେଗେଟିଭ କିଛିଟା ଗୁଡାଏ କିଛିଟା ନେଗେଟିଭ କମେଣ୍ଟ ଆସିଛି ଆଉ କେତେଟା ଗୁଡାଏ ସଜେସନ ଫର ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଆସିଛି। ସେଗୁଡାକ ଆମେ ଧରି ପାରୁନୁ ଯେ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି କଣ ସେ ମାନେ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟ ସିଚୁଏସନ ଟା କଣ ହେଇଛି ବା କଣ ମାନେ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ତାଙ୍କର ଇଣ୍ଟେନସନ ଟା କଣ, କାହିଁକି ସେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି। ଯେହେତୁ ନା ନାହିଁ ସେଟା ଆମେ ବୁଝିପାରୁନୁ। ଗଲା କାଲି ଆମର ହେଇଥିଲା ପ୍ରାୟ ଅଲମୋଷ୍ଟ 2/3 ଅଫ ଦ କମେଣ୍ଟସ କଭର ବିଭିନ୍ନ ସେବାର ଆଉ 1/3 ଅଛି ଆଜି ବିଷୟରେ ପଠେଇଛି ଆଜି ହବ ଆଫ୍ଟରନୁନରେ। ଗୋଟେ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦଉଛି ସେଟା ଯଦି ଆପଣମାନେ ସେମିତି କିଛି ଲେଖିଥିବେ ସେମିତି ଲେଖିବେ ଫିଲ୍ ଫ୍ରି ଟୁ ଲେଟ୍ ଅସ୍ ନୋ। ଗୋଟେ ଉଦାହରଣ ଦଉଛି, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା କଣ ଯେ ଭେଜିଟେବୁଲ ପଚି ଯାଉଛି ଏତେ ଭେଜିଟେବୁଲ ଆଣନା। ମା ମାନେ କହିଲେ ମାନେ ରୋଷେଇ ସେବାର ମାନେ ମୁଖ୍ୟ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସୁବ୍ରତ ଭାଇ ଯିଏ ଆମର ଭେଜିଟେବୁଲ କଟିଂ ଭେଜିଟେବୁଲ ରୋଷେଇ ସେବାର ମୁଖ୍ୟ, ସେ କହିଲେ ନାହିଁ ସେମିତି ହଉନାହିଁ, ସେମିତି ଯୋଉ ଗୁଡାଏ ପଚି ଯାଉଛି ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ ନଟ୍ ଟ୍ରୁ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ଗୁଡାଏ ପଚି ଯାଇଛି ଆଉ ସେମାନେ ଜାଣିନାହାନ୍ତି ଲେଟ୍ ମି ନୋ କଣଟା ଆଇ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ନୋ ଦ ସ୍ପେସିଫିକ୍। ଆଉ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦଉଛି କୁଇକଲି। ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ଜଣେ ଭକ୍ତ ଲେଖିଲେ ରୋଷେଇ ସେବା ଉପରେ ଯେ ମେନୁଟା ଡିସାଇଡ୍ କରାଯାଉଛି ଆମଠୁ ଇନପୁଟ ନିଆଯାଉ, ମାନେ ଅନ୍ୟ ଯୋଉମାନେ ରୋଷେଇ ସେବା ନାହାନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କଠୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ଇନପୁଟ ନିଆଯାଉ କଣ ଆଇଟମ କରାଯିବ। ମୋର ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଗତ ମତାମତ ହେଲା ଅଫକୋର୍ସ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡସ୍ ଅନ୍ ଦ ପରିଚାଳନା କମିଟି, ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ହାଭ୍ ଅଥରିଟି ଓଭର ପରିଚାଳନା କମିଟି। ମୋର ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିଗତ ମତାମତ ହେଲା ଯେ ସେମିତି ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ମୁଁ କହିବି ସେମାନେ କଣ ରାନ୍ଧିବେ, ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ଡାକିବେ, ଯୋଉମାନେ ରାନ୍ଧିବେ ସେମାନେ ଡିସାଇଡ୍ କରିବେ କଣ କଣ ରୋଷେଇ କରିବେ, ମେନୁଟା ସେମାନେ ଡିସାଇଡ୍ କରିବେ। ଯଦି ମୁଁ କହିବି ଏଇଟା ରାନ୍ଧ ସେମାନେ ରାନ୍ଧିଲେ ଏଇଟା ମାଲିକ ପଣିଆ ହେଇଯିବ, ଏଇଟା ସେବକ ସେବିକା ପଣିଆ ହବ ନାହିଁ। ମୋ ଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ସେମାନେ ରାନ୍ଧିବେ, ମୋ ଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ସେମାନେ ଆସନ ସଜା କରିବେ, ମୋ ଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ସେମାନେ ଗୀତ ବୋଲିବେ, ମୋ ଇଚ୍ଛାରେ ସେମାନେ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ କରିବେ, ଏଇଟା ମାଲିକ ପଣିଆ। ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ବି ପାର୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ ଇଟ୍, ବି ଏ ପାର୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ ଇଟ୍। ନିଜେ ସେବକ ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, ନିଜେ ସେବିକା ହୁଅନ୍ତୁ, ନିଜେ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁଟ କରନ୍ତୁ। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଦଉଛି ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ଆସିଲା ଜଣେ ଲେଖିଲେ ଯେ ନୂଆ ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ରୋଟେସନରେ ସେବା କରାଯାଉ, ରୋଷେଇ ସେବା ରୋଟେସନ କରାଯାଉ ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଯେ ନୂଆ ଆସିବେ ନୂଆ ଗ୍ରୁପ ଅଫ ପିପୁଲ ତାଙ୍କର ମୋର ଲଭ୍ ମୋର ଡେଡିକେସନ ଏଇଟା ଆସିବ। ଆଇ ରିୟଲି ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ ସେ ଭକ୍ତ ଯେ କଣ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ କରେଣ୍ଟ ସେମାନେ ସେବା କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ରୋଷେଇ ସେବା କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଲଭ୍ ନାହିଁ, ସେମାନଙ୍କ ଡେଡିକେସନ ନାହିଁ, ସେମାନଙ୍କ ସିନସିୟର ନାହିଁ। ଯଦି ଆପଣ ସେଟା ନୋଟିସ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ଏଗେନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଡଜଣ୍ଟ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ବି ରୋଷେଇ ସେବା, एनी सेवा आपण जब नोटिस करूछंती जे सेवक सेविका सेवा प्रति लव नाही डेडिकेशन नाही let us know let me know I would like to know that so that I can bring it up to Pachana committee सेमिता सेवा हम दरकार नहीं हमारा लव प्रेम पूर्वक भक्ति पूर्वक प्रीति पूर्वक सेवा हवा दरकार माने गुरुंकर सेवा छुटिया जिन नहीं अपराध हो सेवा अपराध एमती गुड़े कमेंट आसी मोर कहया कथा जे एई गुड़ा कमेंट रा अनलेस वी नो द स्पेसिफिक्स वी कैन नॉट ब्रिंग चेंज खाली एमता कमेंट चेंज आसी हबो नहीं वी नीड टू नो द स्पेसिफिक्स सो एनीवे जेहेतु आपन ना देई ना हांती वी डोंट नो होम टू कांटेक्ट सो इट्स ए रिक्वेस्ट जदि आपन चाहूते भी पारे माने लाइक आई सेड वी कैन नॉट टेक एक्शन अनलेस वी नो द स्पेसिफिक्स सो आपण यदि चाहूछंती सेई ताको आमे गुरुत्वपूर्ण भाबरे माने ग्रहण करू प्लीज लेट मी नो एंड आई गारंटी यू आई विल नॉट डिस्क्लोज योर नेम इफ यू डोंट वांट दैट जेरा मोर प्रतिज्ञा तुम कहा एनीबॉडी नोबॉडी ऑफ कोर्स एक्सेप्ट ठाकुर मुझे बनिया पड़ी मते जे चेंज करे जाऊ छम एक्सेप्ट ठाकुर नो ह्यूमन बीइंग विल नो इट्स ए प्रॉमिस टू यू so do feel free to let me know जदि आपण चाहूछंती आपनकर कमेंट गुरा को माने नीड फॉर एक्सप्लेनेशन ओके सेट मु होउची जय गुरु विषय थाई
हाय जय गुरु आमर आज पढ़ा सरला नीलाचल जो हमरो ये ठाकुर महात्म बही पढ़ा सरला ता परे अच्छी से लेखकों ऊपर अच्छी केते 7-8 पृष्ठ अच्छी प्रजय मे भी सेटा छाड़ दबा तापर जीवा नीलाचल ठाकुर निगमानंद पुस्तक परिषद कमिटी स्थिर करछंती जे ए बहीटा सरला परे पढ़ाबो नीलाचल ठाकुर निगमानंद पार्ट 1 पार्ट 2 दुटा बही अछि तनो आ दुटा बहुत हां सेटा छाड़ दबा सेटा साइके तार वी आर गोइंग टू न्यू बुक एक्चुअली आफ्टर दैट सेटा अपडेट आउ आता से ठीक अछि देन विल गो टू अटेंड आज अच्छी सेकंड मीटिंग हमर पार्ट 2 आपण माने मेल देखथिबे जो माने सो ठीक समय थिबो योगदान करिवे सेटा को हमें डाकी जे जास बसी 9 ओके
भाई मोर हां भाई मोर धारणा था दीटा हो बुझे हम सही हम टाइम दीटा तुम तीनटा बजे तो सारे गोटा को सादी काटते तो मते टिके मते हु टिके आज 10 मिनिट लेट कारण मोर क्रिया सारी के आसिला बोल को तोल को माने हम टाइम गोटे 25 मिनिट हो जाए जेल गोटे सो आई ट्राई टू फिनिश माय यू नो मध्याह्न प्रसाद 10 मिनिट शेष करी दी यू कैन स्टार्ट कर दियो तो मु 10-15 मिनिट भीतर जॉइन करी
ओके देखिए कौन से हाउ जय ओके सो विल गो टू कार किछ अच्छी पचरे को बिफोर वी गो टू अटेंडेंस ओके अटेंडेंस को
भाई जय गुरु खाली गोटे कथा ऐड करिया थिला जोटा जस्ट प्रजय कहले जो माने भी जदि कमेंट ये देई नाहंती समीक्षा रे बट यू स्टिल थिंक कि आपण एटा भाबुतले दवा पई स्टिल ब्रदर टी कॉल करी जणे दियंतु बिकॉज़ इट्स ऑल फॉर इंप्रूवमेंट हम सेवाटा केम इंप्रूव हो सब जिंस रे एनी टाइप ऑफ कमेंट टी जणांतु केमि सेटा को हेई परियो सो ऑलवेज बिफोर गिविंग द कमेंट टी जणांतु जे सेटा केमिति इंप्रूव हेई परियो खाली नो जे एटा हेइतले हेई थांता टिके जणाई दियंतु जो माने भी न देई छंती पर्यंत दवा पई चाहू छंती स्टिल वी हैव टाइम जस्ट ब्रदर एंगल कॉल करी जणाई देबे जय गुरु
हां माने अगेन ट्राई कर चाहू छंती आपन नाटा डिस्क्लोज न हो बिली लेट मी नो यू नो आई विल नॉट डिस्क्लोज टू एनीबॉडी रियली एनीबॉडी जय
आपन मानको फीडबैक ता बहुत माने ग्रहणीय वी आर आल्सो थैंकफुल फॉर योर फीडबैक समस्त फीडबैक मत जोन देछन से सब माने वी रियली अप्रिशिएट ऑन दैट वन किंतु जदि चाहू छु फॉलो अप डिस्कशन की कोना पेंगा सेटा कह जाउ छी किछि सेटे किछि भाबियोनी भाई तो प्रॉमिस करले सो यू कैन टॉक टू देम ओके अजीत भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अमिता भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु पद्मिनी माँ
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु अंजना माँ अनुप भाई
जय गुरु भाई से भोग देवा को जाइछन्ते
जय गुरु माँ तापर बरदरा भाई
भाई जय गुरु
सोनिया माँ
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु बिजू भाई बिजू भाई
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु सुमी माँ
जय गुरु भाई
जय गुरु विनोद भाई
जय गुरु भाई
और माँ आगे जय गुरु दिस इज बेहरा भाई
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। विशु भाई, विश्वरंजन भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
लिपिका माँ, रोज भाई जय गुरु। रश्मि माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। वृंदान भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। पद्मा माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। चिन्मयी दास माँ, तापर देव भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। लीला माँ,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। देवाशीष भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। देवी श्यामल भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। स्मिता माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। दीप्ति माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। गुरदास भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। ज्ञान भाई, शिवानी माँ, बहुत होते थे। स्वाति माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। ईश्वर भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। प्रज्ञा माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। किशोर भाई,
जय गुरु भाई। भाई
जय गुरु। हाँ भाई जय गुरु। लिप्सिता माँ,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। महेश भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। रश्मि चौधरी माँ,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। मानस भाई, मोनालिसा माँ, निहार भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। अर्पिता माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। प्रभाकर भाई, आश्रम जय गुरु।
भाई जय गुरु। भाई जय गुरु। माँ जय गुरु।
आज्ञा आज्ञा। प्रवीणा माँ, प्रणवेश भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। पृथ्वीराज भाई, रवि भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। गीता माँ,
जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। रमा भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। घटना माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। संदीप भाई,
जय गुरु भाई। भाई आज बस ना जय गुरु।
माँ जय गुरु। सानुजीत भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
आज्ञा जय गुरु। सार्थक भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। पल्लवी माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। सुभाषिष भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। सौमेंद्र भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। शिवानी महाती माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
माँ जय गुरु। बनलता माँ,
अच्छा
जय गुरु। जय गुरु। शिशिर भाई,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। सोनाली माँ, सुब्रत भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। सुश्री माँ,
भाई जय गुरु।
जय गुरु। मिलू माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। शिशिर पंडा, सुधांशु सुधासिनी पंडा माँ,
जय गुरु भाई।
जय गुरु। सुकांत भाई, सुप्रिया माँ, सुप्रीत भाई,
जय गुरु भाई।
सस्या माँ,
माँ अच्छा।
जय गुरु। सूर्यकांत भाई,